Today, I have a special guest. I have Barton over from Vancouver, Canada, from Limitless AV, one of our great AV partners in Canada. How's it going today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Nathan.
Oh, thanks for joining. So we met remotely. Like my last video, we met remotely and never actually met in person. Luckily, we were able to do that at ISE, and hopefully you see the steam going on right now. We're doing a lot of the recap videos. And I just wanted to share your opinion and understand what you saw, what was hot at ISE. So let's get started with that. ISE was a massive show, 74,000 people, I think, total. Lots to see, lots of displays, lots of video bars. I guess, what was the one, two, or three things that you saw that was like, wow, this is great, and this is a great, like we're moving in this direction, or a great product or solution? What are your thoughts?
The two things I really saw at ISE this year was really the push for sustainability with products using recycled plastics, things like that. That's a really important thing. We generate a lot of waste and disposal in our industry. So I know that informed clients and integrators like ourselves are utilizing this sustainability impact to really drive what we're doing. It's something I'm passionate about personally as well too. And the other thing that I noticed a lot of was, of course, there's great cameras and microphones and speakers and hardware technology, but really it's the software that's starting to drive our industry. Whether it's Zoom AI Companion, Microsoft Teams Copilot, even Google has their own AI platform now as well too that's driving their Google Workspace. So that, along with the remote management suite, the tools that manufacturers are coming out with so that integrators like ourselves can be less on-site, but more on a remote stage where we can see and we can interact with the products that are on site to support our clients. That's one of the huge pushes that I'm seeing in our industry that's separating the different manufacturers from one another.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great feedback. Now, on sustainability, that was a big deal this year at the show, right? Everyone seems to be like finally going in the right direction. We obviously made some big announcements as well in terms of taking our VC line further down this path. Are you seeing customers asking for sustainability metrics in their tenders and their RFPs? Is that starting to happen already in Canada?
We are on tenders and larger documents like that. On the more private opportunities, it's still a work in progress.
Sure.
I know that a lot of people really appreciate it when you do bring that up. Those metrics are really key. But it is something that in Canada, we're very in tune with the sustainable ecosystem here with our natural resources. But it is something that's really key and important that we need to continue to drive and to continue to push.
Sure. That's great. By the way, I'm glad someone walked by. So you're actually in an office, which is fantastic. I'm stuck at home, unfortunately, for this one, but it's great to see people actually back in the office. And I know it's happening everywhere. It's just kind of cool to actually see. So great from a perspective of what you saw at ISE. How about customers? Like, what are customers going to do differently this year, if anything? Like, I know there's a lot on the table, right? But what are they asking you for that may be a little bit different in terms of design or display size or platform that they're using?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're still seeing that real drive and push on Microsoft Teams and Zoom and Google. Those are the big three. Within that, though, is we're seeing people start to move outside of just looking at the traditional corporate meeting room or huddle space and now look at the employee experience. So hot desking, hoteling, bringing your own device, coming in from home to the office to collaborate with others. And there's some really great improvements to platforms that are enabling people to come together in an efficient manner, work together and include everybody, and then have IT teams to be able to manage the peripherals and devices that are on the workstation desk. And we're seeing a big push in that in Canada, where people are really wanting to get back together. And employers and organizations are looking for ways to get their employees and their teams back together, collaborating together.
So it sounds like you guys are going to be busy, but it just still seems like people are still trying to figure it out. And the good news is now we have the technology. Like even 2 years ago, a lot of the scheduling technology, the desk technology, the room technology just didn't exist. And especially for more, I guess we call it equitable meetings, right? But if you're talking about smart framing, making sure people in the conference room are framed correctly and they can be heard correctly, I think those are all great points in terms of what people actually want and need to get everyone back in the office. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely. And I'm happy you brought up that smart view with bringing people, making people more inclusive in a meeting where, depending on where they're looking within the room, they're going to have a camera angle capture their eye contact so that it provides a more inclusive experience for people on the remote side, which is really important in a meeting room because, as we both know, in a traditional meeting, no one's looking in one direction at any given time. They're changing their viewpoint. They're talking to different people at the table. So the technology and the software driving these multi-camera solutions is really impressive. And I know that will continue to improve over the coming months with firmware updates, software updates, things that were announced at ISE that we're really excited to get our hands on.
What we also said in the last episode that we recorded is software is the key right now. Software is where it's holding everything. It's holding all the future innovation. The hardware is the hardware. Obviously, no one wants to keep replacing hardware over and over again, right? And that's not sustainable, right? You can't just keep replacing a video bar every 2 years. So obviously, we want some more longevity in it, and we're doing that in software. And frankly, the entire industry is moving to this kind of framework, right? Let's build the hardware once, put as much compute power inside it, and then keep building the software features as customers need it. So glad you're seeing that as well. Barton, thank you for joining us and sharing your perspective. Great to see you again. And I'm sure we'll see each other soon. So thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, Nathan. It was a pleasure. And thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you next year at ISE.
Yep, likewise. Or probably in Infocom, hopefully later this year, right?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be there.
All right, cheers. Thanks everyone for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Nathan.